Pictograms are a simple tool to recognize physical and health hazards covered by WHMIS. There are 9 that you will need to be able to identify: 4 for physical hazards and 5 for health hazards. The first physical hazard pictogram signals a flammable hazard. Fire, heat, and in some cases explosions are the main hazards involved with flammables. Most flammables are in liquid or gaseous form, though they can also be solid. Common flammables include gasoline, methane or natural gas, and certain paints and paint-related chemicals like solvents. The word combustible is also used to describe certain flammables. Combustibles are a category of flammables that ignite at temperatures above 38.7 degrees Celsius or 100 degrees Fahrenheit. Flammables can be unpredictable, so it's important to know their properties, especially in the workplace. For example, proper room temperature must be maintained for certain combustibles to remain stable. If they become hot, they will violently explode. And some solid combustibles will become flammable spontaneously simply if they get wet. The second pictogram signals an oxidizing hazard. Oxidizers release oxygen when they come into contact with organic materials or certain chemicals. Oxygen itself is a highly flammable gas, so oxidizers can cause other materials to ignite more easily or fiercely, or even combust on contact, making any reaction, like a fire, much more difficult to control. Some examples of oxidizers found in the workplace are peroxides, iodine, bleach, and chromates. Oxidizers should be kept separate from materials that they might oxidize. Knowing which chemicals are oxidizers can prevent violent and dangerous chemical reactions. The third pictogram signals a compressed gas hazard. A compressed gas is typically stored pressurized inside cylinders. Hazards posed by compressed gas include the risk of sudden release, suffocation, and frostbite. The following examples of compressed gas hazards all result in either significant injury or property damage. A sudden release of pressurized gas causes a cylinder to spin out of control. Compressed gas leaks into a confined space and expands, displacing breathable air and causing death by suffocation. Or, extremely cold gas escapes from a cylinder, causing frostbite that severely damages the skin. The fourth pictogram signals a corrosive hazard. Corrosive chemicals are common in workplaces. They can be in liquid, solid, or gas form. Corrosives can damage metals and destroy human tissue, including skin, muscles, bones, eyes, and your respiratory system, including nasal passages. Damage can vary depending on the product. A weak solution of sulfuric acid may only irritate your skin, but inhaling chlorine gas can destroy your lung tissue. There are 3 special cases when it comes to pictograms for physical hazards. The first special case is physical hazard classes, which don't have pictograms but are identified on safety data sheets or SDSs. 2 of the most common are combustible dust and simple asphyxiants. Combustible dust is fine particles of material that catch fire or explode under the right circumstances or when ignited. Asphyxiants cause death by preventing oxygen from being transferred to cells in the human body. The second special case is hazards that fall under physical hazards not otherwise classified. For these hazards, suppliers are required to use the pictogram that most closely represents the hazard that exists. The final special case is explosives, which is a hazard class that has a pictogram under the GHS. WHMIS 2015 doesn't cover explosives, but that doesn't make them any less of a hazard, so take caution if you see this pictogram. Explosive hazards cover a wide range of items. Some examples include propellants, explosive material with detonators, small arms, and pyrotechnics. It also includes mass detonation hazards. A mass detonation hazard is a large quantity of explosive material stored in a single place that can be detonated either on purpose or inadvertently.